Hello YouTube, it's Peter Gaming Scotland here and welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are well and gaming lots. So in today's video I'll be looking at my top 5 gaming pet peeves. These are small nuances or bigger issues that make me rage when I'm gaming with friends or by myself. Here are my top 5 gaming pet peeves so far. So at number 5, before we get into it, this list is in no particular order. So without further ado, let's jump into my top 5 gaming pet peeves. At number 5, we have long loading screens. So loading screens are there primarily to load the game in the background. But in this day and age, with all this technology, why are they still a thing? Now the recent God of War game didn't have loading screens per se. It was just a continuation from start to finish of the game, and that was fantastic. So hopefully this will be a new era of games without long, laborious loading screens. Now we only have to look back at the recent remaster of Crash Bandicoot Trilogy, the Insane Trilogy, especially when you were doing the time trial sections. If you died, you had to restart the level, or just from going from level to level, the loading screen was there. Yes, I realise they've recently introduced a patch to limit the loading screen, but I'm talking about the game, the very original game as well. And these loading screens were a pain in the backside, especially with Spiral comes to mind as well. Just loading from going from section to section, at least a minute, if not more, waiting for the game to load in the background was a piece of nonsense. Now I know the technology back then wasn't great, it's improved now, and I still don't know why games have loading screens. They're a waste of time and they ruin the gaming, my own personal gaming experience personally. Hopefully they ruin yours. I'd love to hear what your gaming pet peeves are down in the comments section. But that's number 5, long loading screens. In this day and age, we just should not have them at all, and there's no need for them with the increased technology that we've got nowadays. They're just a waste of time and patience on so many gamers. At number 4, we have backwards compatibility, or they're off it. Now the ideal would love to go back to our childhoods and play our favourite games on the most recent system. Now I realise for Xbox users and Microsoft users, you have backwards compatibility on your Xbox Ones, which you can play Xbox and Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One. Now that is fantastic. That is something I've wanted Sony and PlayStation to bring out for years. I would love to go back. I'm playing my old PS1, 2 and 3 games on my PS4 or potentially a PS5, which we're going to talk about in a second. I absolutely would love to do that. Now there is the scope and there is the technology there to have backwards compatibility. We only need to look at the PS2 games that you can currently play on PS3 and PS4. There's a small number of PS2 games on the store as we speak at this precise moment. So I don't see why they just can't bring all PS2 games to the PS4 or potentially the PS5 in the future. Now I realise why they're not doing it. They're not doing it because they want to remaster or re-release most of these games in the future, because as games are increasing in cost and production, they're going to have a variety of other games from decades ago, from the PS1 up to current day, that people haven't played for years that they want to play. So they want to re-release these games at probably a reduced cost, like Shadow of the Colossus for example. I can see why they're not doing it, but the fact is we do have PlayStation now on PlayStation. The fact that Sony haven't released the figures of how many people have subscribed to the PlayStation Now service speaks volumes, because there's probably not many people that have PlayStation Now. I don't personally know anyone that has played PlayStation Now, even for a trial version or the actual main version of it. I really just don't see the point in it. I'd rather have backwards compatibility, but I think Sony are saving it for a system seller for the PlayStation 5. That's just my thoughts, because we haven't seen it up to now. There's been a lot of talk about it, but as far as I'm concerned, it'll hopefully be on the PS5 as a awesome reason to get the PS5 when it comes out in a couple of years' time. So that was backwards compatibility, or the lack thereof. So we're on to number 3 now. Now this drives me bonkers. People that ruin online games. This honestly is one of my biggest pet peeves. This list is in no particular order, but it was one of the first that came to mind when I was going to produce and do this video of Gaming Pet Peeves. People that ruin online games. At the end of the day, we all work, or we all at college or school or university, and we just want to have a few hours during the week to sit down and chill by yourself or chill with friends, have a good bit of banter between like-minded people, and just to play online and just have a good all-round gaming experience. Now, on the most part, that probably does happen, but with a couple of examples like GTA Online, the biggest culprit, and just many other online games like Call of Duty, there's always people that try to ruin your enjoyment of the online game. I just don't see why they would do that. People are dicks. I know you're always going to get that, and you're probably never going to eliminate it 100%, but the fact, if people want it, like coming from a Call of Duty background, one of the only games I played growing up was Call of Duty. Every year I would get the game, and since when the new game comes out, the older game or the older games are hacked to shit, and people are boosted on every map, and it literally became unplayable. You would go into the lobby, you would see people with different coloured names, people floating in the air, people have God mode on, invincibility. No matter how many times you shot and killed them or try to kill them, they wouldn't die. Cars floating about the map. It was unplayable, and it just ruined the experience. Same with on GTA Online. When you're online, as soon as you spawn in, there's somebody in the helicopter blowing your car up that you've just spent thousands of dollars on upgrading. It's gone. Not completely gone, but it's gone in the sense that you can't use it or play with it or whatever. It really grinds my gears, and I suppose you're always going to get people that will be dicks and want to ruin the experience for everybody. But at the end of the day, there's more of us that want to just sit down and enjoy our games by ourselves or with our friends, just to kill time or pass a few hours, because gaming's becoming a more mainstream hobby, and I've been doing it for years, and hopefully together we can try and stamp it out together, or just say no, enough's enough. So at number 2, we have game breaking glitches. Now, I know gaming developers are probably under a lot of pressure to release games quicker and quicker, as people want games now. They're not prepared to wait that 6 months or a year later to get the game they want. Now, this is also because of hype. Hype plays a role in this. So the marketing teams have a responsibility to generate this hype that people want it now. They want it now. They want it now. They can't prepare. They're not prepared to wait for that game to come out. Now, me personally, games are costing a lot more money, and we're seeing that with just the increased technology and what have you. But it's not getting passed on to the consumer. Games, at the end of the day, are coming to market unfinished, and that's why you see a lot of day one patches for pretty much every single game that comes out. There's a day one patch try to sort issues. Now, at the end of the day, it's within the development time. That should be extended. I would much rather wait for a new game, that extra 6 months or a year, to know when I pay that money and buy that game and have it in my hands, physical media by the way, when I pay money for a game that I've spent a long time working for, to buy a game, to put it in, and it's literally unplayable in the first couple of days. That is appalling, and it should be cut out and stopped. As I said, I'd much rather wait that extra time so the game can be 100% polished or thereabouts, so I can have a fantastic gaming experience and my hard-earned money is put to good use, in my opinion, as games last between 25 to 100, 200 plus hours. So it's a fantastic way of just playing the game and having a great experience. And game breaking glitches affects the gaming experience, in my opinion. Some glitches can be funny, but at the same time, it should not be happening in this day and age. There should be no game breaking glitches that make games unplayable, as at the end of the day you're just letting down the fans of the game, and they're probably less likely to buy the game on day one and wait that bit longer for price reductions or what have you later down the line, because we all know there will be a price reduction within the first couple of weeks. Just look at the hundreds of sports titles in your local game, how quickly they can lose their value. So game breaking glitches, I know I've kind of went off topic there, but game breaking glitches should not be happening in this day and age. Period. Now, this final one, the final pet peeve of mine, is one that I absolutely cannot stand. There might be a part 2 in this series, but we'll have to wait and see, because there are a lot of things wrong with gaming. But this one is out of sync audio. Now, we have come a long way in facial animation, gone off the days of no facial expressions of the PS1 and PS2 days, or carbon copy sprites of gaming characters that have no emotion, no nothing. They're just standing there with text on the screen. But still, when a character is talking in the most recent games of this generation, their mouths still don't move in sync with what's being said or the audio. It looks as though the audio is just coming out of random place, and their mouths are still not moving in sync with the audio. This can also lead into subtitles that are probably wrong or just don't pop up at the right time when the character's speaking. This is just not on. As I said previously, we work hard, we pay for games that we want to play, and it does ruin my and many other people's experience. Please let me know what your pet peeves are down in the comment section. But when characters can't even speak with the correct audio and mouth movements, it just ruins the experience. Now, I know a lot more games are using this mocap thing where they stick like pom-pom balls on the actor's body for better movement and just all-round fantastic gaming experience. But I suppose in a way I kind of answer my own question here. It does come down to money. Some of the bigger studios will have better mouth audio or just mouth movement audio than smaller indie developers, because it probably does cost a lot of money, but at the same time it just shouldn't be happening. But there you go, guys, that have been my top 5 gaming pet peeves. So just to recap: long loading screens, backwards compatibility or they're off. Number 3, people that ruin online games for everybody. Number 2, game breaking glitches and out of sync audio for number 1. Thank you very much, Dees, for watching, and as always, let me hear what your thoughts are down in the video description, and let me know what your gaming pet peeves are. As I said, I've been PC Gaming Scotland. Thank you very much, Dees, for watching, and I'll see you on another video. Thanks very much. Bye bye.